episode number 6. You can tell we're getting more traction because the talent, i.e. Bree, is getting later and later each podcast. She was 35 minutes late today. The other one, she's been about 20. So, and the crazy part is there was no work today. So she was just taking her time.
Totally what I was doing. Yeah. Just taking my time doing nothing. That's going to actually lead us right into the topic for today. Being busy versus being productive.
Yes.
And the difference between the two. How irritating it is to me when people say they're busy and I know that they're not.
Yes.
I see them trolling. Yeah.
Yeah. Bree always comes in if I'm on my phone and she asks me if I'm trolling, like through Instagram or something.
I think it's just an acknowledgement of how you're choosing to spend your time at that minute. And if you want to say no, but the truth is yes, I mean, you got to live with that, not me.
So it's like a guilt trip that you're putting
on
me.
A little bit.
Yeah, so we came up with this episode because we listened to a sermon from a pastor. He was talking about being busy and about how nowadays it's so cool to be busy. He said he was going to a Starbucks and was talking to a guy that was homeless and was asking him what he was doing today. And he said, I'm busy. He said, like, what are you talking about? You're busy. Like, you're homeless. Then he did some counseling with a couple that just got married. They have no kids. And they were like, they're so busy. And he goes, you don't know what busy is. And so that is what's funny talking to people nowadays. It's everyone is busy. Busy with life, busy with work, busy. And it's one of those things where Bree and I have learned that, yes, everyone is busy and has things going on, but if you dedicate certain times to things throughout the day, you get a little bit less busy and you get more of a focused mindset, and you check off each little wins, is what we call them, throughout the day, and you get your busy day compacted and moving on.
Yeah, I think ultimately we all have the same amount of hours in a day, same amount of days in a week, and so on. And for everyone, we can choose to fill our day being busy with tasks and just realizing how little time we have. But really, as we've changed our mindset in the last few years and focusing on what we need to get done, you see busy transition to something more like productive to allow yourself more time. Not that you're going to buy your time back in any way, but it's like you look at your task list for the day and it may seem a mile long. How am I going to get all this done? And I think for myself, I realize what is something that's a priority for me to do that nobody else can do. And then what are not priorities still for me to do that no one else can do? And then what are things that I can delegate to other people to allow me to have more time to do the things that I really want to do and prioritize, you know? And it's funny because I think in raising our children, for instance, of course we all want summer filled with popsicles and swimming, and that's going to happen, but it comes along with responsibilities. We have to get our responsibilities taken care of before those fun things can happen. And same for adults, really. There's never dishes in our sink that are dirty because our children are trained to empty their dishes when they're done, put them in the dishwasher. So there's never an excuse at the end of my morning like, oh, I'm late because I had to do my dishes. That's never going to be something that I say because my kids are trained to do their own dishes and I put my dish away when I'm done. So it makes for a more productive morning. I'm never doing dishes, But when you add up your task list with all these things because you're not taking responsibility or doing them at the time they should be done, of course, you're going to fill your day with busy dishes, Yep. But, and two, also acknowledging what are things that my kids can do and are capable of. And it's funny because I'll say these things to clients and they're like, oh, my kids would never. Well, the truth is it's because you have never, and getting down at their level and teaching them, okay, this is a plastic dish. It's, fine for you to handle. Dump it in the trash and put it in the dishwasher. What's hard about that? Nothing, because that's the expectation and standard in our household,
Yep. Yeah, it was funny with dinner last night, and everyone is so busy nowadays, but they're waiting outside of an ice cream shop. There's a line of probably like 40 people there.
At least, yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
And I'm like, probably if you were to ask half of them if they went to the gym today, they would say no because they didn't have time. But they're standing in an ice cream line waiting for ice cream.
Yep.
And it's like, what is better for you, ice cream or going to the gym for 20 to 30 minutes? And it's like that for me, what I've realized is I have to set up things for me that even if my day's busy, but I know that I have to get certain things done. Like one is the gym. One is I stack every morning, which is a journal every morning. And
Power hour.
Yeah, it's our power hour. And then I realized when I started doing that how much time I was wasting, if it was on Instagram or if it was just kind of like doing nothing, like just watching TV. I think for me, I've cut back a lot of TV. And that has been a big thing because I didn't realize like, well, I wasted, an hour of my day or, 2 hours of my day. And so, and then you get more things done in that time. And if you're more precise on what you want to do, like Bree was saying, you can buy back a little bit of your time by having more of a list and checking things off. Totally. And just almost being a sniper rather than a machine gun. I feel like most people go in throughout their day like with a machine gun and they just try to spray everything. Where we've been kind of more of a sniper, where we just get one thing done at a time, and it small wins daily equal big wins in the future.
Yeah, totally. I think too, as adults, for instance, we believe in our household. We go to bed early, but we wake up early. And from the minute we're awake in the morning, there's not lazy time in our day. We might leisurely drink our coffee, but we're still doing other things at that time and working a lot on our phone or, part of my power hour is doing my numbers. It's something I'm becoming obsessed with, actually. It's challenging. It's exciting. I can reassess every day, see what's working, see what's not working. And I'm just being mindful of business already as I'm drinking my coffee, as I'm entertaining my kids or whatever it may be. But it's starting my morning and my day off with things already kind of getting the ball rolling, up and going, and motivating me to move quickly, or not even necessarily quickly, but productively, And I think for adults, if you sleep in after 6 a.m., like really you're wasting your day. And it's not because you're so tired. You're probably tired because you're not getting a restful sleep. And usually that stems from staying up late and doing other things in your day that aren't helping you sleep, So we go to bed early, and I would say I get my like big bulk best of my most restful sleep between like 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. And then anything after that's a bonus. But by 6 a.m., I'm wide awake. And you have like an automatic alarm clock. Mark's awake. Eyes are open by 4:40. And it's like, okay, we're ready for our day. And it's not ever that we lay in bed and just don't want to get up. We're not those kind of people, because already our mind is in, a productive mode at 4:45 in the morning to get going for our day. So I think for a lot of people, they sleep in. I'm not saying your body doesn't need sleep. It needs restful sleep. And if you're doing things in your day to create restless sleep, you're not going to wake up and feel motivated to get your day started, That's one thing. Our kids don't sleep in either. They're up and early and going, and that's because our household is,
Yeah. I feel like you always find an excuse to not do something because you're busy. And when you're busy, that's the perfect time to start it.
Yeah.
Because if you do start it when you're super busy, then you can always put that in your schedule and not miss it. And I realized that being busy, if I'm being busy with things that add value to me and other people, then that's okay. But being busy and not adding value to myself or other people, it's probably not good for me. Meaning me watching Netflix. Like, yeah, it's great, but it's not really adding value to me or anyone around me. Me drinking, a lot on a Sunday with the buddies at the bar. It's great, but it's not really adding value to anyone. It's kind of actually hurting me. And so that's where I've changed my mind frame, is like, hey, I'm going to be busy with things that add value to me and to other people.
Yeah, absolutely. I think our weekends also, we do kind of protect our time at home to have downtime, to be still, to have a Netflix day, watch a show. I'm actually not a fan of TV. That's not something that I do at all. I have watched one series start to finish with Mark since we've been married. And, actually 3. And even then, I'm kind of, Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah. Well,
until
we stopped
it got
that.
weird.
Yeah.
Stop. It got weird. And then Virgin River. I love me some Jack. And then
That was kind of weird.
Lincoln Lawyer.
And we watched what's the one? He makes drugs.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking
Okay,
Bad.
sorry,
Yeah.
4. Yeah. But, and I mean, it's mindless, stupid TV. And honestly, I'm probably semi-distracted in the midst of it. But it is something that we have like focused to do in, those hours or whatever it's spent. But when you look back at the hours you wasted watching TV, and I see it as wasting because there were so many other more productive things we could do. I mean, I just get frustrated with myself. But in our defense, we do find it an hour to fold laundry or do things other than just watch TV. But anyways, my point is, it's amazing when you look back at the end of your day and you're like, gosh, I got so much done today and I still have free time. How good you feel, And it's like that sniper approach. It's I'm going to like be precise in my target and not just spraying a machine gun. It's really, I'm going to execute this, this, and this. And also being okay with delegating to somebody else who can do that for you or should do that for you. For me, I feel like Mark always says, if I didn't do hair, I'd be the best general contractor because I have no problem asking other people to do things for me. But also in the long run, it benefits them usually. So I feel like I'm not a control freak when it comes to that. I just want you to get the task done. How you do it, I don't care. But if you can do that for me, it saves me time and relieves me of one more thing and we're all happier, But I noticed there's a lot of things like in this class I'm witnessing friends do that are like, you don't need to do that anymore. Your time is worth more to you than the time it's going to take you to do that task. Have someone else do that you're paying for one to do it. Or like my kids can put all the stickers on product bags because that's for one exciting for them. We can do it together and we get like double the amount done in half the time, Utilize your people because that's something that I have no problem doing and it also helps me get ahead. I would say that you're more on the control side and want to do it because you don't like the way someone else is going to do it. Yeah, I let that go a long time ago.
Yeah, I like what I like.
That's true. And I respect that too. But also at the end of the day, you're going to spend more hours in your day doing things other people can do for you. So then don't make it an excuse that you're busy. It's just you can't probably teach someone to do it the way that you want or train them the way that you want. And that's a choice. That's not because you're busy. Yeah,
that's the one thing, or that's one of the things that for me, I've had to swallow my pride in because the when we hire someone and, I always look at the money aspect, but the value of it, and that is buying back some of our time of things that we don't need to do. If it's a salon manager, if it's a CPA, those kind of things that take time from my day and stuff like that. And we hire those people, and the big picture, we make more money, we have more time together. That is worth its weight in gold.
Absolutely. So. It's way more worth that time that you save, or just shift to be dedicated for something else,
Yeah.
I'm all about hiring people, and Mark is more like, I could do that myself. I'm like, yeah, but do we really want to spend a Saturday for you to change the faucet on the sink? No, I don't. I'd rather pay someone to do that. But again, there's also, something in doing it yourself that feels good too. And I appreciate those things also. So I know there's certain tasks around our house that I'm just like, I don't want us to have to do that. I would rather pay someone to buy my time back on a Saturday and go to lunch or on a walk or whatever it may be. Or go to work and do something different to earn money. I don't know. But anyways, I just feel like I'm okay with giving up control to let someone help me. And there's just, the fact is some people that are not. I don't know. And I think too, being busy it's unfortunately become an excuse for people to not take responsibility for their responsibilities. And I know that sounds like a mouthful or hard to wrap your head around, but it's the truth. You're responsible for your body, right? You are the only one that's going to care for your body the way that you can care for your body. And if you choose to not go to the gym because you're too busy, it's really openly saying, I'm not taking responsibility for choosing my body first to take care of it because I'm too busy to go to the gym.
Yeah. Which is funny because everyone puts money, their family over their health. But if you're not healthy, then your family and wealth are not going to be like, it doesn't really matter.
That's true.
You're not going to show up, being unhealthy. You're not going to show up, like you should.
Absolutely.
And being too busy and not showing up, you're going to crash at night. You're going to crash in the afternoons. You're always going to be tired. You're not going to provide. Like I know for me, when I was busy with things that didn't add value, my business suffered, my body suffered, all those suffered. And once I started writing down each day of what I wanted to do, and I wrote down 4 things I want to do every day, and I realized like my business got better, my family got better, my body got better, all that got better. So the body is the main driver in the whole thing. And that's kind of how we came up with this topic of the podcast. Is that's one thing I hear. That's probably the number one thing I hear from people about exercise is I'm too busy.
Yeah.
I'm too busy. But then they'll sit in a salon for 4 or 5 hours to get their hair done.
Don't touch that one. Yes. Don't touch that
one. Or
they'll
wait in line to ice cream or do certain things, right? Like your health should be your number one priority in life is your health. And take time for that. Because it's funny, I'll talk to people and they'll be like, I'm too busy. And this is especially guys. I'm like, you're too busy. My wife had 3 kids. She is feeding one of them. And she works full time, has a staff, and she's still not too busy to do things. Like, you're okay. Like we did not birth, a child. And so I think we're not that busy. Like if you're a man, you're not that busy. I don't care. Like that does not matter. Like
wake up earlier and be more productive.
Yeah,
That's my thought.
Because you didn't sleep, like you're okay.
That's your own fault.
You're okay.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. No, I think, and people deal with so much guilt too. It's sad when you don't get all the things done that you wish you had. But the truth is, you look back and there's so many things you could have shifted to do better or more productively so that tomorrow you don't wake up with guilt that you didn't get it done. And that's a hard lesson to teach your kids too. My daughter right now is going through that at 9 years old, as silly as that is. It's like, well, you didn't get this done. So the consequence is you don't get to do this. And there's a trade-off for everything, right? And as a child, it's hard to wrap your brain around like, wait a minute, but this is my time to teach her in life. There's going to be big things that happen that you're going to have to get done. And in result of not getting them done, you're going to miss out on really good things. So just getting, to the bottom of that now and helping her understand that, I think is setting her up for success in the future. And I know that she's going to learn best by us leading by example. And so I have to sometimes have the hard conversations or enforce the hard consequence of, this is what happens when this does not, or vice versa, So it's little lessons to learn, and it's harder to be the one to enforce that sometimes than even the one learning the lesson. But I know that it's good for them, and we are all growing together, and I know she teaches me every day so many little things about life. And if I can give her these little nuggets to run with, I know that when I'm not there to hold her hand through it all, she can make the right decisions because her heart has been trained. Yeah. And this goes back to growing kids God's way and really getting at their level right now when it counts to train their heart so that when you're not there, they can make those choices.
Yeah, that. And for me, having the sniper approach, you actually hear God more. And
Very true.
When you're busy with things that don't add value, you don't hear God as much. And when you're more single-minded of what you want to do and get done, it's amazing the doors that open because you're actually like in the moment and you're adding value. And it's pretty amazing. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I don't even feel like you can't hear God. You're so distracted that you have to be in a place where you're still, or it's like aware, consciously making an effort like, hey, God, I need you right now. Step in, show me which move I'm supposed to make. I know I went through a really hard thing in my life and I was so angry at the time. This is probably for another podcast, but it's relevant to this in a way. I was so angry at the time that I was debilitated. I could not move. I was laying on a couch and I had it was the most inconvenient time for me to be in a position where I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. I had a 4-year-old at the time. It was Christmas season in the busiest season at work and I'm just laying on a couch. I couldn't do anything because of some health stuff. And I was so angry at the time, like, why now? Not even about the circumstance of like what happened, but it was about I can't do what I need to get done. And I was so irritated with, I was angry with God. I had to go to like therapy after this. And God said to me point blank, because if I did not force you to be still, you could not hear me. Mm-hmm. And I know that was why I was put in that position at the time, now looking back. But at the time, I could not see it. I could not hear it. I didn't want to either, you know? Yeah. So, there's some truth to that is, or I know firsthand, I've experienced that, been put in a place where I was literally laying on the couch for God to really wake me up and snap out of it, you know, and you want it to be in moments in life that you can just make that choice for yourself and not be put in a position where there's an unfortunate circumstance where you're forced to be still, you know, and that's exactly where I was. I was in a position where I was forced. I didn't want to be there. But in order for me to hear God, I had to be, you know. My girlfriend just sent us a text this morning. Actually, Mark and I have been doing an accountability with this other couple. And she said she's doing a study right now. And she said it proves that when you sit down and you make a list of things in the morning, start your day off with things that you're grateful for, assessing your day, assessing the day before, like course correcting, things like that, you're 25% happier. Even if it was to recognize yesterday was a fail, you're 25% happier. It's scientifically proven. Who makes these things up? I don't know. But anyways, I just thought that's so interesting because it's true. You're setting yourself up for success. I talked to another friend today. She's out of town, just out of her routine. She's like, it's crazy how much I miss my routine. I didn't even realize how much of a routine I had until I'm not in my routine, you know, and just that things that you could normally handle firsthand well, it's harder when you're not in your stable mindset or consistent mindset of your routine, you know? Yeah.
That'd probably be the number one thing that I would tell people and that I do is instead of first thing in the morning, grabbing your phone and scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through emails, those kind of things, but is to write down like 5 to 10 minutes of just like what you're grateful for.
Totally.
That for me has been an absolute game changer. Mm-hmm. And it could be the same thing that you wrote about the day before, or just grateful that you have a home, or grateful that you have clothes on, or whatever it might be. And it's because we miss being busy. We miss a lot of things that are right in front of us. Mm-hmm. And I know for me, that was my biggest thing, is that I missed what was right in front of me for so many years because I was busy. Well, I wasn't. I was busy with the outside world.
Busy with distractions.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I was busy with, I was in the world. I was of the world and I was not in the world, meaning I was doing the things of what the devil wanted, you know, which
to
was
distract you with. Yeah.
And so, for me, just taking the 10 minutes in the morning time and just writing it down, it could be like 2 or 3 things, but just kind of sitting in silence and being still is pretty amazing. I would definitely do that every morning, and I do that every morning. I think I missed one morning in the last like 2 or 3 years.
Yep, we'll never forget it either.
Oh yeah,
if you don't want to go back to that,
you know what that was.
Anyways, I think that it's something healthy to do and recognize, and I hold Mark accountable probably more than anyone, and I have no problem walking out in the living room like, hey, do you not hear your daughter crying, or are you sitting here trolling? And it's like, I'm coming. Well, no, you were trolling. You're coming now because I called you out on it, you know. And that's one thing that I have no problem to say, because it's hard sometimes to snap out of it and be like, okay, no, I need to get going. I need to stop what I'm doing right now. And one thing my girlfriend and I talked about is like carving out time. For us, social media is such a time sucker, but it also helps feed our business. And so at some points you have to sit down and decide, is this a time for me to create or consume? Mm-hmm. And I honestly am more of a creator than I am a consumer. And I can honestly say that I don't like sitting there trolling, because I feel the guilt of I have something else I should be doing. And usually there are 3 little humans in front of me. So I sat down instead of trolling in front of the TV the other night and literally painted 30 toes. 30 toes. I painted their nails. And it was fun for us. Even the baby got a little hot pink on her toes. But anyways, instead of sitting there, trolling Instagram, I sat there with my kids and soaked up some time. Well, Daddy had to hold the baby's feet for me, but still, it's something we did together, and it took maybe 10, 15 minutes, but they were so happy. And every time I look down at their toes this week, I just remember sitting down and doing that with them, and it makes me feel good. So anyways, take the time. It's right in front of you most of the time, and you miss it.
If you ever want to not do anything, don't hang out with Bree, because she literally is the biggest buzzkill sometimes. But it's good for me because I would be that guy that would sit on Netflix for hours. But Bree, literally on a Sunday, it's like 8 a.m. She's like, "What have you done so far?" I'm like, relax, lady.
No.
But Brana,
be responsible.
Yeah, no, I know.
And don't you dare complain to me about guilt tomorrow.
Yes, I know. That was one of the big things. But also, that's kind of a good point, is that since we've had the more sniper approach, is that there's no regret in the morning.
Yeah.
Like you're like, man, I shouldn't have wasted that much time doing that or whatever. But it's like, no, I've done everything that I set out to do and then some, and it's been pretty amazing for me in the mornings of like, man, like I did a lot yesterday and I got to do it again today.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and two, just like looking at the fruit of your labor, you know what I mean? And it is motivating. It is exciting. And then writing it down makes you feel good, or checking it off makes you feel good. Set yourself up for success. It's not going to make you feel bad when you look at all the things you did yesterday. You know what I mean?
And it's cool too to go back and see what you put down and like, like I actually did that, or that was pretty easy, or things that you thought were going to be, at the end of the world, and it's like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Yeah. Like for me, if I would have done this during COVID, man, it would have changed my life, because I was so consumed in COVID with being busy with things that didn't matter. And now looking back, because I started doing it in like late 2020, and seeing some of the things that I was journaling kind of blows my mind nowadays. Yeah. So it's always cool to kind of go back and see
look
where you're at.
Look at your growth. Yeah.
And see where you're at. And for me, if I go, man, I'm still in the same spot, then I need to change something.
Totally.
And if I'm not, then let's keep going.
Yeah, I love it. No, it's so true. I know for our kids too, they like being a part of it and incorporating them in that. It helps set them up for success in the future. They like to look at you picked up all your Barbies. Good job. It seems little, but getting down at their level and acknowledging what they did, it's a big deal, And then they get distracted when I'm like, now let's go pick up all the pool toys. It's like, no, Mom. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's not give up. And it's helpful. I think it's good for them. Yeah. So, and me as an adult, I get motivated by seeing what I've done and not discouraged at looking at what I have to do. It's like, well, I've already done all of this. That mountain doesn't seem so high anymore. You know what I mean? Yep. So, yeah, I hope these words leave you feeling motivated and help you sort through what you can do in life to help yourself stay on task and be productive, and just recognize how much time in your life you do waste. You know what I mean? Because of just being distracted. It's easy to do. I know for myself, there's certain things in life that I'm really working hard towards to relieve time for myself, or to do something different at that time to be more productive. And for me, I want a driver, and Mark thinks that's crazy because he is my driver most of the time. He's like, you only drive to work, which is like 4 minutes from my house. But still, in those 4 minutes, I could text the whole time and get work done and be present when I walk in the door. I know it sounds silly, but to me, those 4 minutes are valuable. So
she also wants a chef, which I'm not.
I want a chef, so you don't have to be it, Mark.
I'm not saying this like in a bad way, but like, when was the last time you even turned on the stove?
Well, I had to make pasta the other day.
And you burnt the bag.
I know, that was a total mistake. It wasn't that I meant to, or I'm not capable.
Was I home?
Yes.
Yeah, you're home. Yeah, because I smelled something burning. I'm like, hey, something's burning. And she had the plastic bag over the flame, and she was mad at the bag. Like, why would the bag burn? And I'm like, well,
no, this is not how that went.
How'd it go?
Well, this is my thought. It's not that I can't cook. I don't want to cook. There's a choice there, right? I don't want to do another single thing when I get home that requires me to stand. And that that is one of those
she
things.
Does not do
and
anything.
I don't. Yeah,
Literally.
I refuse. Yeah. But you know what? I'm in a position in life where if it came down to you didn't cook, the option wasn't I'm going to cook. The option is I'm going to pay someone to cook for us. Yeah. You know, that's my thought process.
I'm gone for like 2 days a month, and the DoorDash bill is unbelievable. Like,
no,
we should
that's
just get a
not
chef.
True. It's even better when I call my brother-in-laws and I'm like, hey, are you off tonight? Do you guys want to do chicken at my house? I'll buy it. You cook it.
Yeah. Which, do you buy it?
Well, okay. This episode's over.
Right.
This episode's over.
Well, it's over. Speaking of being busy, next week, hopefully Bree's at least less than 30 minutes behind, but I'm guessing not. So yeah, if you're on here, give us a like on YouTube and a follow. And until next time.
Next Sunday, I'm having somebody blow dry my hair while I do my makeup just so I'm on time. And again, another thing that I can have somebody do so that I get time back.
Which is I'll probably do it. All right, guys.
All right. Have a good night.